Hi, cities. How are you doing? Welcome to Niasim. Hope you are doing great. So, I am sure majority of you know Huda. Huda is a Palestinian American woman who has really been racist towards my people, and I think she's just dating Louis. And also, they were on live stream yesterday, and a call came in from her fan, and the person decided to use on Olandria, a black woman. And these people were laughing. They didn't cut the call. They did not correct whoever that called, or they did not address it and say something like that is not okay. They were just laughing, giggling. See, when things like this happen, you are actually in agreement. Yes. And I learned that some brands are about to disassociate themselves from her because of that and the rest of it. I don't care. She better be losing the brand deal because you cannot be racist and think life will be super sweet for you. Now she issued an apology and also trying to say that she will make donations over what happened. Making donations, does it wash away your sin or your racism? You all can actually do better. Sometimes when people talk about a minority or people of color, unity with black people, this is one of the reasons why I said that it will not even work. Let's get into this video.
I mean, who's really surprised? I swore I was done talking about Love Island because I was sick of hearing from people who only get views when they talk about Love Island, but when duty calls, we answer the phone. Now, while Louis and Huda were on live, someone called Louis' phone and referred to Olandria as a slur. And this was their response.
Whoa, hey.
Well, Huda and Louis decided to address the backlash that they were getting, not the racism. And here's what Huda had to say. She basically said that clickbait using a sensitive topic is insane and that she and Louis didn't actually hear what the caller said. Then the person kept calling from no caller ID while they were on live and that they basically hung up and that she was addressing this before it was blown out of proportion. Blown out of proportion is strange. She also said that the laughter was because it was awkward. I don't know what's awkward about racism or funny, but she then says that whoever said it is in the wrong, but not her and Louis for laughing. Okay. Louis then said that this was just another opportunity for people to come on here and hate on his girl and that he's black and she's with him. So none of this makes sense. Okay. Anyway, I don't know why y'all tagging me in these videos. I've been told y'all this. Y'all need to go tag them people who had my name in big lights saying I was tripping.
Lost a $1 million brand deal after the video of her laughing at what was said about Olandria. What started as a casual stream has now become one of the most controversial Love Island moments of the year. Clips of the call have been viewed hundreds of thousands of times, and people are now wondering if this could affect Huda's reputation beyond the reality TV world. The moment happened during a joint Twitch live stream with her boyfriend Louis, where the pair were taking fan calls. In the clip, a caller used a bad word about Olandria, and instead of ending the call, both Huda and Louis were seen laughing. The reaction quickly went viral and caused a major backlash across multiple platforms. Brand experts and fans alike have begun questioning whether companies will still want to work with her after this. Some say the moment could make brands hesitant to partner with her, especially given how the clip has been perceived as insensitive. Others think the backlash might fade quickly, given how fast social media controversies usually move. During this, a source spoke out and actually revealed that Huda has lost a huge deal. In a statement, the source said Huda had recently scored a deal which had the potential to make 7 figures, but at least 6 figures, and the brand has pulled out. They felt she was a great character with a huge following and thought it would be wonderful to work with her, but now they've decided that what she did is against their brand stands for. It seems like that video is slowly ruining her career. She worked so hard to build it, and now it's disappearing right before her eyes, and many say it's deserved. But before you go, I want to know if you would work with Huda after.
Huda beyond a reasonable doubt. Let's talk about it. Last night, Huda and her clout-chasing boyfriend held a live in which they were accepting calls from fans, and one of them got on the call and called Olandria a slur, hard R. And how did Huda react? She giggled. That's what she did. She literally laughed. So, welcome to Chris's Court of Accountability. Today we'll be hearing the case as to whether Huda is anti-Black. Today we'll be using the highest standard of evidence in the entire American court system, and remember folks, it is not a defense of Huda to say that she's Palestinian American. I know that. I'm pro-Palestine. That does not bear on this analysis today. In the American legal system, there are different standards of evidence that a plaintiff or a prosecutor must use to prove their claim. And the lowest standard, or like the easiest standard to prevail on, is by a preponderance of the evidence. This is used in civil cases, and in these instances, the plaintiff or the person bringing the case must prove their case that happened more likely than not, right? So that's like a little bit more than 50%. It's a low standard to prevail on. The highest evidentiary standard in all the land is beyond a reasonable doubt, and that's used in criminal cases. And it's such a high standard of evidence because you cannot be able to just like take people's liberty at whim. Here, the prosecutor must provide evidence to the jury that firmly convinces you of the defendant's guilt. So ladies and gentlemen, today the charge is anti-Blackness, and the question for the court is Huda anti-Black or not? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let's look at a few examples from just this summer. All summer long, Huda evinced an absolute obsession with Black culture, right? There was the Black Sin, there was the AAVE. She was like only dating Black men. And then she had this like weird obsessive competition with Shelly and Olandria. It's giving obsessed. Then there's the fact that Huda repeatedly referred to the Black male contestants on the show as brother, which seemed to be euphemistic. Remember at the first fire pit when Olandria quietly said, "Don't do that," when Huda was going on and on about, "You deserve a better man than Taylor," and then Huda went off crying? Or how about when Huda was like relentlessly verbally abusing Jeremiah and then Chris, two Black guys? Then of course, Huda was very physically coercive with those same two men, right? Like, remember when she tried to coerce Chris into sleeping with her, and when he refused, she said, "Do you want me to ruin tomorrow or not?" There's that time during the heart rate challenge where Huda like purposefully beeline for Ace and like went above and beyond, did way too much just to piss Shelly off. And like, it was giving, again, I want to compete with this Black woman because I want to prove that I'm better than her. I guess that happened all summer, right? Like Shelly was Huda's like absolute fixation, and Huda wanted to beat her. So when Huda approached Shelly after the heart rate challenge to talk, Shelly knew she was super angry and like didn't want to talk in that moment. She did not want to pop off on Huda. And Huda freaked out, right? Like she cried her tears. She cried her tears. So we all made space for Huda's tears, but then at the reunion, when Olandria like cried about the racism she's been enduring, Huda said something about like, "Yeah, I'm facing racism too." It was giving all lives matter. But generally speaking, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, how did Huda's fans respond to her crazy behavior? Well, they engaged in the same sort of rhetoric, right? They descended onto Olandria and Shelly's comments using like every racist form of rhetoric they possibly could. They did that horrible deep fake of George Floyd's body with Olandria's face. Do you remember that? Even though it's been months since the show ended, those fans continue to engage in that same reprehensible behavior. And what has Huda said about it? Nothing. But okay, today the court finds beyond a reasonable doubt that Huda is, in fact, anti-Black. Court is adjourned.
This entire situation, the response to the situation, it's all bad. So in case you missed it, Huda and Louie were streaming on his account yesterday. I guess they had a phone number set up for fans to call in, and they were answering certain calls. They answered the call from what sounded like a child, which isn't surprising because most of Huda's fans are in school right now as I'm recording this. But a child proceeded to say that Olandria was the N-word. Now, this is their faces as they heard that, and subsequently they went to their social media platforms after being called out to say that they didn't really hear what was being said on the other line. Now, this narrative quickly shifted on their social media pages, which we'll get into in a second. But let's first address the fact that this entire thing was risky. One second you're acknowledging the fact that you shouldn't answer something on speakerphone because it could be volatile, and yet you proceed to do that. Secondly, if I heard it, if we heard it, you heard it. I didn't have to rewind it. I didn't have to turn my volume up. I didn't have to have captions on. I didn't have to replay it. I heard it the very first time. Laughing when you're in an awkward situation is typically something I understand. Laughing in response to a racist joke or an offensive joke, I don't understand that. I think you laughed because Huda thought it was funny, because she has set the precedent for her fans to be so vapidly racist, as has the network, because let's be clear, we never heard anything called out about the direct racism from people who claim to support Huda, who support Huda, using Olandria, using Shelly all season, punching down on them verbally, saying racist things. None of that was addressed, and especially not by Huda. The most she said is something was mean. We found out that she wouldn't address, even after seeing the George Floyd photo that was photoshopped of Olandria, she still didn't address things. But she went to her story and said that they only heard the racial slur. They didn't hear in full what the caller said. She said she doesn't condone anything of the sort. Whoever called purposely and continuously. She says, I really don't condone racism, which is why I immediately hung up. You heard it. You heard it, and it's clear that you condone racism because this isn't just a singular act. We can look at your track record with addressing your racist fans, and you don't. As stated, this isn't a situation where you're at work with your boss who could fire you, or you're at a bar with a man and worried about your safety and they say something off color and you feel like if you don't laugh, your safety is at stake. Like, this isn't one of those situations. You're on a public live feed. You heard what was being said. You thought it was funny. You were called out for it. Laughter isn't an appropriate response. That's very concerning. And lastly, I've heard a lot of people saying that Huda can't possibly be racist because she's with Louis, a black man. Her proximity to black people, blackness in general, does not mean that Huda can't be racist. It doesn't mean that her fans aren't racist. That has nothing to do with it. And black women have been saying this for a long time. Even the response to this tells me that Huda doesn't listen to black people, black women, doesn't care what black women say. It's all disgusting.
The past 24 hours have felt like a fucking fever dream. Because what do you mean it went from holding Huda accountable for laughing at Olandria being called a racial slur to it now being Shelly versus Olandria? Are y'all cool? And let me clear something up and take accountability real quick, because I feel like my last post, I could have worded it much better and I didn't, and that is fully on me. In my last post, I said that I was side-eyeing every Islander who did not speak up to denounce the racism against Olandria. And then I went on to say, because how can y'all party with her and be around when shit is cool, but when she needs defending, it's fucking cricket. The way that it computed in my brain and the way that I meant it was that I was specifically talking about every Islander who had recently been partying with Olandria. But then people in my comments started coming at Shelly because at that time she had not spoken up or said anything about the racism. I want to make it abundantly clear that post had absolutely nothing to do with Shelly, nor did I ever have any doubt that Shelly would say something and stand with Olandria. I also want to make it abundantly clear, all of my pages, all of my platforms, all of my spaces have been and always will be protect black women. That includes Olandria and Shelly. Because to my knowledge, and if you have a clip, an article, anything to dispute this, please send it my way. But to my knowledge, Shelly has never said anything negative about Olandria, and Olandria has never said anything negative about Shelly. So why are y'all so hell-bent on pitting these two black women against each other? Anytime I see y'all start this Shelly versus Olandria discourse, y'all are always trying to hold Shelly and Olandria accountable for what other people have done. With Shelly, it's always, oh, but what about what Ace said in the Speedy interview? Keyword Ace said. Girl man, by the way. Y'all are trying to hold a woman accountable for a girl man's actions, which is rooted in misogyny. I hope y'all know that. Then y'all be talking about something, oh, but she didn't hold Ace accountable. How do you know that? How do you know that? You're not entitled to every conversation that they have because they are literal strangers. And with Olandria, y'all be talking about something, oh, but her fans spew so much hate towards Shelly. We're not going to act like that doesn't happen on both sides. And both sides are not okay. And we're also not going to act like both Shelly and Olandria have not said putting someone else down to try to uplift me is not okay. Then y'all get so wrapped up in the Shelly versus Olandria of it all. Meanwhile, racism is running rampant and J-Lo still has access to mine. The plot is so dangerously lost, and I just want to make it abundantly abundantly clear. As for me and my house, it has been and always will be protect Black women. Neither Shelly nor Olandria deserve this hate and vitriol or to be held accountable for things that other people have done. Leave Olandria and Shelly the fuck alone. Peace and love. Talk to you later.
Dear Huda, from a crisis manager, this has gone beyond the pale. The N-word, hard ER, should not be funny regardless. But of course, because it was against Olandria, who's the people's princess, who got the fame, the notoriety, the brand deals that you thought you would get because you thought you would be the Leah of the season when it didn't happen, because you could never, because when Leah had the chance to call out racism when she left the island, she did it immediately and then doubled down when Kenny ended up being a racist, showing that Leah does not mess with that at all. You thought that was going to be you, but it wasn't. So when people make fun of Olandria, it's okay because Olandria is in the spot that you wanted to be in. It's never funny when people say the N-word. It's definitely not going to be funny when they say it about your boyfriend. It's definitely not going to be funny when they say that about the Black men that you had sex with on the show. It's definitely not going to be funny when they say that about your baby dad. And I don't need to take it no further. But he's your baby dad for a reason. Because y'all have a what together? A black what? Oh, but again, it won't be funny then. I also want to call to task Amaya Papaya. Amaya Papaya said every which way, I am a Afro-Latina. I am a Afro-Latina. I am Dominican. You don't think Dominicans are also affected by the N-word? Where is Amaya? Where is the papaya lady? Iris? Do I need to put a blonde wig on? Iris? I'm calling you to task too, mama. Where are you? You said, oh, you love Olandria. You love to dress her. She's so beautiful. Where are you? Last but not least, Huda, because I'm not coming up off your ass, the fact that Louis' knee-jerk reaction was to come on here and tell us you can't be racist because he's Black versus Jeremiah's knee-jerk reaction was to call Olandria the person affected by the slur. You and Jeremiah never would have worked on the outside. You and that man that you really wanted never would have worked on the outside.
I really want to give Huda the benefit of the doubt when it comes to this Olandria N-word situation. But this was an issue that Olandria and Shelly brought up during the reunion. So it's not like it's a one-off situation. This has been, I guess she didn't stick up for them in the past, and now this is another example where you had the opportunity to step up in that moment and you did not do that. Even if she laughs nervously when things are awkward or whatever, that's like a defense mechanism. You could have at least said it in that moment, guys, I'm laughing, but this is a serious matter. I just laugh when I'm nervous. None of that. You wanted to do a kind of a BS statement. And when it comes to public apologies, written statements are never great. Nobody ever believes a written statement. It's gonna be hard for them to believe you as a video too, but I feel like that's way better than a written.
And the only thing more embarrassing than popping pussy for a plethora of men who won't cook you pancakes is being a... Hi, Louis. Nice to meet you. I see that you told us that you were Black, so that means that you can't be racist. Newsflash, Uncle Tom was Black too. And before you try to pinpoint me as one of those Black women who get offended when they see Black men with women of another race, please understand that when I look at Louis, he's definitely one of those where a white woman could have his sorry ass. Nobody wants a man that's complicit in racism, Black, white, yellow, or other. You are not your ancestors' wildest dreams. You are their worst nightmare. You went and wifed the island bop, the only girl on the island that was overly going, and the islander with the most racist fan base towards the Black girls on the show that she was on. And Huda, you said you laughed because initially you were shocked that that was a child, but while we're talking about children, where is your child? Go and get that baby. You've done everything but go and get that damn baby. Go and get that baby and teach them how dangerous racism is. Teach them how dangerous and painful that word is so that they don't grow up to be a disappointment like you. A person who genuinely does not stand for or condone racism would not be laughing at a racial slur. They would have nipped that in the bud immediately, because people that are genuinely offended by that word and understand the pain of it usually have a shock when they hear it, especially the hard ER. Are you kidding me? And nobody's giving you a cookie for the apology that you gave 24 hours later that was lackluster as hell. and probably only given because you're starting to lose brand deals like the one with Gymshark. Save it. Your 15 minutes is up though, and I'm okay with that. Now, enough of those losers. Olandria is a star. She was made for this. Even the way that she's handling the situation with the racial slur, for her to be the victim in this, but to take it upon herself to still let it be known that she does not condone racism, and then to use her platform once again to platform charitable organizations that focus on racial issues. Chef's kiss. I am so proud of you. Whoever's on your team, whoever is doing your PR, your mind, their mind, I don't know, but you were made for this, okay? You're doing amazing, sweetie. And that right there is exactly why Kristen carry your ass over that damn.
I'm so proud of my girl Olandria for responding this time, because everyone always expects her to take the high road, even when she's being disrespected. She says that she does not condone or entertain any form of racism or hate, and the kind of language was never acceptable, and it's not a joke, and those words carry generations of pain specifically to Black people, and defending it, laughing about it, or making excuses is even worse. Hello? And she's not going to let this derail her from her purpose or uplifting her community, and she's using it as a moment to call people to accountability. She also said that she knows that a surface level apology will surface in the near future, because it always does. It always does. But she linked some organizations that people can connect with to learn more or to donate towards for Black folks. I honestly just love that she's exactly who she thinks she is. I really do. And I feel like she still took the high road and handled it very classy, because me, crash out central. But that's why she's the people's choice. Okay? This is why she's the people's choice. Y'all gonna learn to stop playing with Black women. So Huda issued an apology for laughing when someone called Olandria a slur on the live with her and Louis. Now, before we get into the apology, I just want to state the obvious. She only apologized because Olandria's statement ate her up. The other Islanders are not coming to her defense, and her tears did not work this time, and I'm going to show y'all what I mean after we read the apology. And just like Olandria said, a surface level apology has surfaced. She said she needed most of the day to reflect on what happened because she wanted to take accountability, but she didn't want it to come off as disingenuous. It came off as disingenuous. She said that she respects Olandria and that she is extremely disheartened by what she presumes to be a child using the word that they used. 24 hours later, it became crystal clear to her that it was towards Olandria. It took 24 hours. And let us not forget that initially she said she didn't hear it, and she certainly didn't hear Olandria's name. Which one is it? And she only laughed because she was caught off guard and she was uncomfortable. If you were uncomfortable, just imagine how racism feels. Anyway, she says she doesn't stand for it and that she is going to make a donation to the NAACP and that anybody else should feel moved to do the same. Because sending money to the NAACP is going to solve the problem while still trying to place blame on the person that called in. Okay, whatever. Now, if y'all didn't know, she has a few brand deals. One is with Call of Duty and another one is with a perfume company. And people are in her comments section eating her up. Here's a clip from the video of the brand deal with Call of Duty.
Couldn't find love on Earth. Maybe I'll find it on Mars.
And here's a glimpse into what that comment section looks like. People are tagging Call of Duty and asking them if they condone racism. Now, I hate to say that when this all started, I told y'all, you know what? Never mind. Also, Shelly issued a statement defending Olandria, seeing what happened with my former Love Island castmate and her partner laughing during a prank call that included a racist remark towards Olandria was disappointing to say the least. She goes on to say that any form of racism and hate should not be the right way and should be checked right away. And Amaya also made a statement because they were eating her up in the comment section, asking her if Huda was her friend. All in all, we know that this is not a real apology. You don't actually feel bad because if you did, you would have just said sorry to begin with instead of posting pictures with you looking like you were crying and sad. Good day.
You guys, Huda and Louis have put out several statements online ever since they went live last night and Olandria was called a slur. Basically, while on live last night, they answered a call, and the person that had called in to their live called Olandria a slur, and they both just start cracking up.
Hello?
Whoa, hey.
Yo, I turned that shit off.
Hey.
Yo, what the fuck? What did they say? They said a bad word.
Huda said on her Instagram story, y'all, first of all, clickbait, using a sensitive topic is actually insane. Me and Louis did not hear what was said in that no caller ID call on live, only the racial slur, which we hung up immediately. I don't condone anything of the sort. Whoever called purposely continuously called while we were live. I really don't condone racism, which is why it was immediately hung up. Once again, we did not hear it very well considering it sounded like a child. Only the last slur. I just wanted to address this before it blows out of proportion. She then said also laughter was because it was awkward. Like, who the heck says something offensive like that on a call on his live? And as you can hear me say, what did they say? And they said a bad word, because that's all I heard was the bad word. It was awkward and inappropriate. Whoever said it is in the wrong. And Louis took to his story to say, start off by saying don't condemn no racism, but something happened on my live with a prank call and someone said something and a slur. I laughed, then hung up because all I understood was the slur. But now finding out there was
this is all I got from this video. Like, why am I bringing this here? I brought this video here because, like, everywhere I look is Huda, the other side Huda, the other side Huda at Olandria. I said, okay, let me check it out. I already know Huda, right? Because I know how problematic she's been. And this is not, I think I've made a video on her before. Her racism and all that. This is not also the first time. I mean, something negative about my people has happened through her, right? But tell me how somebody placed a, and anyway, you know, while I was going through that, I was looking at Louis. I was like, is he black or he's not black? But then I don't want to go into there because people are going to be like, you know, when a black man finds love or whatever or something, I would just leave it at that. But you know, one thing that is horrible is being with someone that is not black, right? Sitting with them and watch them criticize my people. Let me tell you something before I get into the video. So yesterday they changed my account officer, right? So I decided to also, because I needed to do something in the bank. So I decided to go to the bank to do something. So while I was there, my account officer was like, oh my God, you look so fit and you are beautiful. I said, thank you. He said, your body looks very sporty. I said, thank you. So we're talking. So he was like, oh, I like black women. They are beautiful. I said, also, so are your women, right? He said, yes. Yeah. He said, yes. I mean, women, there were other people there too. So it wasn't just I and him conversation. So he said, yes. Actually, he agrees that their ladies are also beautiful. I was, sincerely speaking, I was waiting for him to say no, that their ladies are not beautiful. But this young man, he's 25, 27. Immediately he said, yes. I was in my mind, I was like, yeah, that's how it should be. Defending your own people first before any other person. Yes. Some people, we fail again, and also fail again. When they have problem, they start calling black women. Let me tell you something. I hope she loses all the brand deals that are coming. You see, I don't care who you are, but you see that moment you want to make someone uncomfortable or laugh at jokes where someone is being called names and all that you know that it's not good, and you started giggling. You concord. You agree with them. That was why you started laughing, and you laughed for how many seconds? Whether the person that called in is a baby or a child or a baby, whatever, it is your duty to say, no, do not say that again. Or immediately you cut the call, you address it instantly. You know, I've been telling Black people so much that I don't know how you people do it. But most times you people catch, even before people say something, you catch it and you are able to. I don't know how. Sometimes I feel like it's a gift. When somebody, for example, when somebody wants to sub you, you know, and I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you know. And when someone says something that the person is not supposed to say, you also immediately tackle it right in front of that person. Sometimes I am like, how do you people know all this? One thing I know with Black people is that they are always ready, ever ready, anytime, any day. And that is, it's beautiful. This is not my first time of saying it, and that will continue because I have listened to you. I have seen you talk. I have seen you do some certain things. There was also a video I brought here sometimes about an Indian woman that was profiled by a white woman saying, I hear an accent I heard an accent while she was trying to tell her that she's beautiful. She said, the woman, she was asking her, where are you from? She said she is from, let's say, from Houston. She said, but I hear an accent. I said the video, the day I brought, I was like, no, it cannot. Black people, before you even start complimenting them, they already know what we follow. So some of these people are not smart. Huda is not smart. I have seen so many of her videos. Sometimes I don't want to bring it here because I don't do Love is Blind and all that. But I am sure majority of you know all this. But let me tell you this. A woman that, as you keep growing, there are some things you do not tolerate. I will never sit in a space where someone is trying to bring somebody down. That is how far I have grown. You can call me, call me anything. I will not do that. I don't want to sit with people that our discussion will have to be on another person. I have outgrown that. I cannot do that. Man, talk about how do we make our lives better, because I want a better life. I want to, maybe by the time I get to a certain age, I want to have a house of my own, right? I want to have a car. I want to, live comfortable. I don't know if you understand. Let's talk about all those. And now, did you see, I love the fact that Olandria actually addressed this. And did you see the video, the apology she made, the other woman, Huda, the apology she made? She said she's going to donate some money. You know, one thing with them is that when they do some racist thing, they will think donating money will wipe away their sins and clean them as whiter than snow and all that. It's kind of funny. You all should stop. And sincerely speaking, when you are racist, I hope brands don't work with you. Yes, brand shouldn't work with you because you are not trustworthy. We are looking, as young as you are, we are looking for a way to fight racism, and you are also perpetuating it. You see some people of color, they are actually the problem. Bye for now.